Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, tmosso@the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we are discussing something that is just pure fun. Launched in 2015 and only made in 28 pieces in rose gold as you see it. This is the Arnold Son Constant Force Tourbillon. If I tell you I am holding a tourbillon with a remontoir d'égalité and a deadbeat second display, you're probably going to think of a watch made by a certain mercurial Frenchman who builds out of Geneva. Well, that's not the case here, as this watch is a product of the manufacturer lug-to-lug out of La Chaux-de-Fonds, itself owned by Citizen Watch, that provides the big bucks to develop movements and models for the Arnold Son brand, which is the brand owned by lug-to-lug. So it's the best of both worlds, a company that makes maybe 1,000 watches total per year, acts like an independent, builds materials and machines, cost no object. It's small enough to be personable and fun and soulful, and yet you've got Citizen with its infinite billions of yen protecting the parts, service, and projectability of your expensive watch through the years. So the best of big and small. That watch, however, is a big one. Taking a quick look, you can see it is 46 millimeters in diameter by 12.7 millimeters thick. So it's not thick, but it's broad. 53.1 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. I'm going to opine that this is too big for my wrist. And you could see that you'd probably need a wrist of 17, 18 centimeters circumference to really make this look right. And although it's not thick, you could see that easily in profile, it is broad, and those lugs are beyond the edge of my wrist. Even down the barrel, I could see that this is pushing to the limit of what's possible. So let's say 17 centimeters circumference wrists and up to wear this watch well. It's weighty and feels like a quality piece. And the strap backs that up as we have symmetrical rectangular scale alligator leather, always an expensive premium cut of the animal. There's some stuffing or bolstering to give it volume, a monotone stitch, a folded edge. You can see it's sort of got a medium brown with a bit of a gradient to its coloration on the bottom. Calf skin and black, no crimping, no gouging, a brand new Arnold Son factory strap. A feature rarely seen on Arnold Son watches, a full deployant clasp, giving you the protection that you get from a deployant, which is a little bit more security against dropping your watch while you're donning it or removing it. So you've got a full clasp here with the Arnold Son logo. The case is simple and strong. You can see that the lugs here are stepped out from the case band and that they're double finished. We have both satin and polish on these lug profiles. Polishing on the profiles of the case. Get a good look at the edge of those lugs. You can see that they're welded to the case flank, which is a really artisanal, challenging, expensive, and slow-going way of making a case, but it gives you this beautiful break between the lug and the case as you have to file away the gathered material from the weld to create that sharp break. Beautiful stuff. Media blast and polish on the crown. We have a double gadroon or double domed bezel, giving way to a dial that's all movement, or a movement that's all dial, depending on your perspective. We have a nickel anthracite brushed track outboard for the minutes, and you can see that we have these little faceted dart-style hour indices, modified broadsword hands with a little bit of a syringe terminal curve that are half satinated and half polished for better contrast. The watch features a combination of nickel anthracite and palladium coating on the movement parts, so you get a sort of steely dark gray, and then you get very bright white silver color for contrast. Twin barrels, manual wind, 90 hours of power reserve. If the watch reaches a low power reserve state such that it will stop keeping accurate time, it will stop altogether. It has a stopworks to prevent it from running slow. 39 joules, twin barrels. The idea is to have the most consistent possible torque curve to supply to the next line of defense against imprecision. Here we have a remontoir d'égalité system based on a coil spring, and once a second it releases energy from the barrels that is then transferred to the free sprung 1-minute tourbillon. So the tourbillon acting effectively as a seconds hand in sweep format, and then because the remontoir releases its energy once a second, its extended pinion has been turned into a deadbeat seconds hand here. You can see that the tourbillon is beautifully decorated with polish and beveling on the tourbillon carriage itself, and then it beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It's free sprung for precision of adjustment and durability against shock. You can see the masses on the spokes of the balance wheel. They are used to perform all of the timing. We also have a lot of depth to the remontoir system, and you can see it features an anchor designed to remind us that Arnold and his sons were once important suppliers of timekeepers to the British Admiralty. Of course, Arnold and Son in the modern era, a brand created by the British masters and then passing through a number of different hands before being purchased by lug-to-lug to become their house brand. That is the history of the Arnold and Son name. You can see that the detailing is excellent. We have mirrored bevels, we have black polished screw heads with chamfered slots and circumference. The bridges have been satinated on their tops. You can see mirror beveled on their interior and exterior bevels. Locating pegs that are used to locate bridges on substructures. Those pegs have been polished on their tops. We have a combination of satin and media blast on the barrel. It looks great, and it is just as impressive as its tech spec would suggest. You can see this caliber 5119 is huge, properly filling this enormous case. You can see this is number 11 of 28. 11 is my lucky number, 11 in all of its multiples. You can see that the beveling on the bridges is comprehensive on both sides, and that even the interiors of the wheels have been micro-beveled, which is a wonderful piece of attention to detail. Taking a look, you can see the underside of the structures bearing the barrels, media blasted with a matte finish and brushed satin across the palladium-coated bridges where we have them on the case back. Again, all of this 30 meters water resistant, which is dress watch standard. You can see that right there. A very special watch and a beautiful effort with a rare combination of tourbillon, stopworks, deadbeat seconds, and constant force device. From Arnold & Son, it's the Tourbillon Constant Force. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.